All right, everybody, we're back at it. And bear with me, this is the first time I've done this type of setup for you guys with the problems. So we're looking at another homework problem. This time it is Q-1-57. This is on page 47 in the textbook. So I've written out part of this. So I wouldn't be able to get all of the text on there. So I got the one part, the upper part for the dates indicated. But as far as the text, I wouldn't be able to fit that on here and work the problem. So follow along. This will definitely help. Again, this is one of our homework problems. So it reads, Smith Company had the following on the dates indicated. So it gives us 12/31/16, 12/31/15, and it's telling us total assets, total liabilities on those dates. Right? So, and you remember, so these are assets, liabilities. We'll find these on the balance sheet. Now it says Smith had no stock transactions in 2016. Thus, the change in stockholders' equity for 2016 was due to net income and dividends. Due to net income and dividends. So here, the first thing we're going to do, we need to write this one out. So we're going to have the accounting equation. So we've got assets equal liabilities plus owner's equity. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're knowing that equation. You're going to need it. You will not escape it. So it's important you know this equation. So how we're going to do this, so the changes are based on, it said, net income and dividends. So we know we've got net income. And think about it, the net income is money that's coming in. So think of it as a plus. So it also said net income and dividends. So if we've got dividends, we've got these dividends. This is money coming out. And then we're going to have our ending balance, right, for these accounts. So we'll have our ending balance. Beginning balance, these are the changes in the ending balance. So let's see what else it says. If dividends were $70,000, how much was Smith's net income for 2016? Use the accounting equation and the statement of retained earnings. Statement of retained earnings. So this is good. This is good. So we're going to have to figure out what net income is. So the first thing, sorry, I told you I'm not used to this. So the first thing you want to do is let's put together everything that we do have. So we've got something, which is great. So we've got this information here. Keep in mind, we know what the ending balances are for the assets and liabilities. Remember, what time frame are we looking at? We're looking at this in 2016. So we've got the ending balances of 2015. So these ending balances will be the balances for the first day of 2016. So that's the beginning balance for 2016. So let's write this out. So we got the beginning balance for our assets. We know that's $330,000, right? That's great. We know for our liabilities, right, the beginning balance for 2016 is going to be $25,000. So we've got this. Awesome. Now, what else do we know? So we know that in order to get $330,000, right, we would have to add $25,000 plus the owner's equity. So we'd have to add the $25,000 plus the owner's equity, and that looks to be about 100 and what is that? 119,000. I'm sorry, 305. Don't know what I'm doing. So that's 305,000. That gives us the owner's equity. Told you I wasn't used to this. So we've got this 305,000. 305,000 is our owner's equity. We've got our liabilities. We've got our assets, right? So that's our beginning balance. What are the changes? What does it tell us that has changed? So it's asking us to find net income. So we do not know net income, and it's asking us to use the statement of retained earnings. So we're looking at the statement of retained earnings. That's what we're doing there. We're looking at these changes. So let's just put an X right here for net income, because that's what we're looking to find. The text also tells us that dividends were $70,000. So we know dividends were $70,000. So we're going to go here to dividends. So we know that $70,000, right, was taken out over here in the owner's equity section. So we know that. The other thing we do know is we have the ending balances for our assets and liabilities. So we know on 12/31/16, which is the end of 2016, we know the ending balance for the assets, it was 560,000. And we know our liabilities, the total liabilities, they were 35,000. So do you see that? The key is take your time with the problems, read through this. I recommend just take a few minutes, read through it twice. It always helps because you'll catch something that you didn't miss. Key thing is to remember with these accounts, right? These are balance sheet accounts. These are particular day, 12/31/15. So that's the end of 2015. These balances will be the beginning balances for 2016. So you gotta kind of catch that and make a mental note of the information that we do have. So the items that we do have, you want to be able to use that. So now we've got our assets. So we know this. So we've got our assets, we've got our liabilities, and what we want to do is we need to figure out, okay, we need to figure out what is over here for this owner's equity. That's what we got to look at. So let's see here. For this, now the next thing we're going to do, we know that this is the ending balance. We got to solve, so we got to figure out, number one, we got to figure out what this owner's equity number is. So we know that our owner's equity is what's left over after we subtract our liabilities from the assets, right? So we've got to subtract this 35,000 from this 565,000. So that gives us, what is it, 525. So that gives us 525,000. This is the owner's equity that we have for 2016. So this is our ending balance of owner's equity. So you remember, so our assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity, right? So these two added up give us the 560,000. But we want to find out what the net income is. That's the question. So how do we do that? Well, we can do some simple math, but we've got to solve for X, right? We want to find out what X equals. So one way we know this, I'll write it down here, sorry. This, hope you can see this. We know this 305,000 plus X minus this 70,000 gives us minus 70,000 equals this 525,000. So we know that. So what we'll do now, we have to solve for x in order to get the net income. So we solve for it. So we're going to add that, and then we will subtract the 305,000. So that should give us, what is it? X equals 2. Should give us about x equals 290,000. So that is our x. And to check it, so remember everything has to add up. So if we subtract 70,000 from 290,000, we get 220,000. So 220,000, and then that gives us 525. So the 290,000. So that is our x. And that is actually, the x is our net income. So I hope this helps with the homework problem. I know it is a lot. This is my first time doing this on the board like this, so I hope it helps. Love the feedback, and look forward to any questions.